Hello YouTube. Yes, I have gone completely down the deep end covering the lore of the types of grass on Tamriel. Just remember, you all wanted this, making the highest voted comment on some videos be the request for this video. Well, fine, here it is, grass lore. I hope you're happy. Alright, grass. You may think there is no lore on it, but you would be very wrong about that. There isn't a lot of lore, but there is some lore, and I've tried to find it all. For one, I've been able to find 10 different types of grass which appear in the Elder Scrolls lore, although some of them are basically just weeds which people in the universe call grass, so let's start with the actual grasses. First of all, we have a type of grass which the people on Tamriel call spiky grass. It grows mainly in the colder regions and in the mountainous regions of Tamriel and has relatively short leaves. It is then to no one's surprise that this is the main type of grass variant from the lore that we can find in Skyrim, as this type of grass is able to grow in near freezing temperatures. The grass pods of spiky grass, so the pod filled with seeds which it uses to spawn more grass, are a potent alchemy ingredient, which is primarily used for poison resistance but can also be used in magicka poisons, fortify alteration potions and magicka restoration potions. As I said before, spiky grass has several different variants depending on the region. For example, in places with a lot of volcanic ash, such as the northern regions of Morrowind and the island of Solstheim, the grass leaves take on a greyish hue, while the grass pod take on a brownish hue, while slightly changing the alchemical properties of its seeds. Now, the opposite of Tamrielic spiky grass, which we find in the coldest regions of the continent, is desert grass. This type of yellowish grass we can find in the hottest and driest regions of the continent. While it looks dead due to the yellowish hue, it seems not to be just some type of dead grass, but rather it's a type of grass which adapted itself to survive on minimal water consumption. And that's basically all we know. I would speculate that it's basically a desert version of spiky grass, but we don't really know that, and there's multiple types of other grasses in the Elder Scrolls universe, so I think it's just basically its own type of grass. Now, next up is sedge grass, which is a type of grass growing mostly in high rock. This type of grass, also nicknamed tundra hay, grows mainly in high rock's mountainous regions, where it seems to have replaced spiky grass as the dominant plant type. Wild Echeteras, which are strange creatures native to northern High Rock, use this grass to graze, and some orcish recipes use it in their cooking as well. When used in cooking, orcs try to harvest sedge grass that grows close to open water, as those grass halms are more salty by nature for some reason, which brings out more flavor in their dishes. Now, next up we have another type of grass seemingly native to warmer regions. It's called sword grass. Sword grass seems to be primarily found in Hammerfell, but unlike desert grass, this type of grass grows in the more humid southern regions, where there's a bit more available water. The grass itself has long, stiff and sharp leaves, which seem to be sharp enough to penetrate unprotected skin under the right angle, making this type of grass quite painful to walk through without pants or shoes. The shape and the sharpness seem to also be the reason that the people of Tamriel call it sword grass. Now, the next grass type also earned its name based on its shape, and that's the so-called red top grass. Its defining feature, as the name suggests, is that the tips of the long grass leaves are reddish. That's basically all we know about it, except that the type of grass seems to be primarily found in Tamriel's southern, more tropical regions, like some areas in Valenwood, elsewhere, some of the more hot regions in the Somerset Isles, and also some tropical islands on the southern oceans and in the Abyssinian Sea. Now, a final type of Tamrielic grass that we know about is called foxtail grass. They are long grass halms tipped off with a long reddish-orange leaf, which kind of resembles a foxtail. We don't know much about this type of grass other than that it mainly appears in eastern and southern Morrowind. We don't know exactly why it has such a long leaf, whether that's, biologically efficient, we have no idea, other than that the leaf likely earned it its name. That's basically all we know. Alright, so next up we have two types of weed grasses. One is the Scatecraw plant, which is classified as a grass type plant by Tamrielic alchemists, even though it looks nothing like grass. It has long and broad reddish leaves and apparently grows in ash, appearing mainly on the areas most covered by ash from the Red Mountain, like Vardenfell and Solstheim. It's quite popular with alchemists who use the insides of its stems for potions and poisons. And the second type of wheatgrass is called crashweed, a plant appearing primarily on the coast of Vardenfell, as it feeds off both ash and salt water. Like skatecrawl, it has broad, long leaves. However, these leaves are not red but green, and it has the potential to have flowers, which skatecrawl does not seem to be able to grow. Now, these two wheat plants, which are both classified as grasses, give us a pretty interesting insight into the foxtail grass that we talked about earlier, because that one also has a more broad leaf, and it also mainly appears in Morrowind, suggesting that the broad leaf might have something to do with surviving in ash. Now, both crashweed and skatecrawl, and presumably also foxtail grass, seem to be an essential part of the Morrowind ecosystem, as they serve for food for its many native species, such as alids, which apparently eat it for sustenance. Alright, now finally we have three types of grass of the different planes of Oblivion and other realms. The first one is called bloodgrass, which is native to Mehrunes Dagon's plane of Oblivion, Boethiah's plane of Oblivion, and Peryite's plane of Oblivion. During the Oblivion Crisis, Tamrielic alchemists brought that grass back to Tamriel from the Deadlands, as it has quite potent alchemical properties, such as being able to provide the chameleon effect to potions, and even serve as an ingredient for curing vampirism. Now, other than bloodgrass, we know that the realms of Oblivion have several different types of grasses, now none of them who actually have a name other than ink grass, a type of grass growing in Apocrypha, the realm of the Daedric prince of her knowledge, Hermaeus Mora. We know literally nothing about this type of grass, other than that it's black as ink and can technically survive on Tamriel, even though it doesn't seem to have any alchemical properties that we know of. The same goes for the so-called glow grass, a type of grass that we can find in the plane of Jode, a realm which has been suggested to be on the moon Masser, which we visit during the Northern Elsewhere main questline, The Elder Scrolls Online. Now, other than that it glows, we don't really know anything about it. No alchemical properties, no usage on Tamriel, we just know it exists. And that was basically all I can tell you about grasses on Tamriel and beyond. I hope you're happy. And if you are, and if you learned something new about the Elder Scrolls lore today, which I hope, since, honestly, who tries to learn about grass, then consider subscribing to the channel and returning for the next Elder Scrolls lore video, probably next week. Now, all that's left for me to do is to thank my top Patreon supporters, Mr. Bernardo Binda, Gabriel Binda, Polar Rasputin, Belly Peritus, Athena Iodis, Dragonborn of Nerevar, Volcure of Argonia, King Chris, Bulge, Scribe of Scrolls, Doji, Fenrir, Sword of Bushido, Rakai, and Mr. Christmas. It's thanks to all these people and all the others on screen that this channel stays alive and that I can make stupid videos on grass like this. And for that I'm very grateful. That said, I hope to see all of you in the next Elder Scrolls lore video. Bye bye.